Okay, welcome everyone to the Team B. We're getting close to the end of the year, 2018. Hard to believe. As you guys know, we were supposed to have Michelle Ball on tonight, to talk about getting your story right. Unfortunately, we had to make a really tough call because Stephen had gifted us with the next week. He's going to be doing these type of team calls right across Canada, kind of downloading all the highlights from the Quebec City NMD Summit. And so when we looked at our calendar and knowing there's only 2 weeks left, and we saw that this was really one of our last opportunities to get Stephen on. And I thought that you guys would probably want to know the information as soon as possible. So actually, just so you guys know, our team is the first team in Canada to be getting downloaded all the information. So we had to make that call. He'll be on in about 10 minutes. I know that he's just in the middle of putting down his little kiddos, and he will be jumping on. So when he's on, and look for him. Melissa, I'll get you making sure that you look for him too if we can't see him on the call. He's hoping that it will be 20 to 30 minutes when he gets on to kind of download what we talked about in Quebec. And there's some really exciting stuff. Some of the stuff that we've shared with you on social media, and some of the stuff we haven't. So hopefully it will be somewhat of a surprise, some of the information, which will be great. But even more exciting from the stuff and the investment, I mean, it's one thing that I'm always so impressed with this company is the constant investment that they do with our organization and with our distributors. You know, I can't even imagine what the bill was for Quebec City, with over 40 national marketing directors staying at one of the nicest hotels in Canada, wining and dining like crazy. And just so grateful that they do these kind of reward trips and love on us. But the most exciting part for me was being connected to Melissa and Jen and Sarah Naylor. She was our one of the newest NMDs that got to participate out of 4 in Canada. But then also we had Susan Baker and Melissa Seguin, who were our 2 newest QNMDs out of 7 in Canada that got to be there. And so it was really special, and we got to start talking about more of a vision for our team and where we want to go. So I'm not going to give away too much, but what I can tell you is in 4 days of actually having these amazing leaders understand kind of how we got to where we are and where we want to go, we actually got very close. I don't know, we might even say we nailed it. A mission statement and a vision statement. And I don't know if anybody's worked ever on a mission statement or a vision statement. When you read them, you're like, oh, that was easy. You could have produced that in like 2 minutes. But what you don't realize is mission statements and vision statements are very hard and challenging, because you know what you want to say, but to put it in concise words. So we've been working on it, and I think we've come up with something pretty sweet. And we are going to be launching new branding. We're going to be hiring somebody behind the scenes to kind of bring our new vision and new energy and new colors, newer website, newer landing page with that. So we're going to be working really hard behind the scenes to gift you guys with more energy of what we represent. And it's so nice to have a variety of leaders that were able to partake and add to what we were already doing. So I want to give a shout out to Sarah and to Jen Brennan and Melissa and Susan for your input and helping us, I think, get to a place where it feels really good and authentic and clear. You know, the power word for me for 2019 is about clarity. Where are we going? How are we going to get there? And so that's what we were working on. We just weren't partying, just so you guys know, even though the social media, you're like, oh, that's all you guys ever do is eat and drink on social media. But we were actually working and trying to get three reds, well, maybe even 4 reds. I think you're turning more into a red, Sarah, together, and to actually get focused was a task in itself. But I think you guys will be really, really pleased. Melissa, is there anything else that you want to kind of add to a little bit of the energy that we had created in Quebec and what we're doing behind the scenes without giving it away?
I don't know what to say, but yeah, it was totally worth it, but so much work, as Nicole said, to come up with those mission statements and vision statements. And it's so true. To help us, we were looking at other examples, and it's like, oh, that makes total sense for them. But it was so hard coming up with ours. And then when we finally got ours, we were literally like, wow, that's it. You just feel it. And I have to say, for the first time since I've been in this business, when I heard what some of the other teams were doing at conference, they were sharing, I was like, oh, that's nice. It was the first time I was not like, oh, that's so good. Why don't we copy what they're doing? It just felt so right for our team. So we can't wait to share it all. We did want to share about the game, the challenge for January, though, Nicole. You want to throw that out there?
Yeah, for sure. So as you guys know from the last conference, we've got some pretty amazing training from Brian Marsh. It was the whole funnel. It was about having lots of conversations in a short period of time to create a lot of momentum. And so we were humming and hawing about what to do coming up for January to really launch. And you know, we tapped in last year to the 90-day game plan, and some of you really enjoyed it. Some of you participated in it. There's a lot of you, though, that, you know, maybe never stuck with it to the full 90 days. It was getting old. And so we came up with, we got some ideas, of course, from our NMD leadership, is the concept of doing a 30-day challenge to launch January. And that it would be a contest. We're actually going to do this as a contest. And we're going to give you guys more details, but we're just planting the seed for it now. So for those on the call, you can decide if this is something that you want to do to launch your business in January, but it's 100 conversations in 30 days. And in order to participate, it's going to cost you $50. So you would actually e-transfer $50. And depending on how many people are going to play the game, that money is going to be rewarded at the different levels through the funnel. So it will be rewarded getting people on three-way calls. It's going to be rewarded on signing people up in the business. We're going to be rewarding people for getting no's, for having different types of conversations. We'll have more rules and contests around that, and we don't know how much money it's going to be until we know how many people are going to play. But stay tuned. We're really excited about it. Michelle Ball's team ended up doing something similar in the month of November, and they said it was one of their largest months they've ever had for new distributors on their team. And when you think about it, it's such a simple activity, and all it's doing is getting you into conversations. And we know that is the number one activity to build your business. And when I say like 100 conversations, I know for some of you, you might think that that is like so massive and overwhelming that you're like, how would I even do that? But when you break it down in a day, it's only 5 conversations a day. That's it. 5 conversations a day. And when I talk about conversations, I'm not talking about conversations that you are going to be blasting Juice Plus and like going hard code to the throat. Literally, conversation. I'm going to just give you one example, and then maybe Melissa can jump in. And if you're seeing Steven, let me know, Melissa. I'm just trying to see, but there's like 2 screens here, so keep an eye on it.
Nicole, can I just, sorry, Melissa.
He's not on yet.
Can I just kind of like jump in for 2 seconds just to give everyone like an idea of the conversations that are happening?
Thanks. Yeah.
I know, Nicole, you said you were going to give an example, but just to give you an example of what can happen if you do have these conversations, when we had Anthony come down, it was kind of a light bulb moment about conversations are what is going to build your business. And just in about 3 weeks, by me consistently having those conversations, I've added 3 new people onto my team, and I've probably had a new order almost every second day. So it just goes to show you the power of conversations, and it's not going to be forced. It's going to be going back to our training that we did a couple weeks ago on social media, like Nicole said, just having conversations. Hey, where are you from? What do you do? What are your plans for the holidays? And like, and we're gonna, like, obviously we're not gonna go into too much detail, but it just shows you by having these conversations what can happen in your business.
Yeah, for sure. And I know when I do my conversation blitz out in the world of, like, say, social media, and I know that, Sarah, you're doing a pretty bang up job on Instagram and really building that. It's so easy to have conversations and to start, and you know, and what I like about what we'll do is it will be like an event. And I think Sarah's going to set up an event within Team B. So if you want to participate, you can. Like I said, you're going to need the $50 that will be e-transferred to Sarah Naylor. And then depending on how many people want to play, and what Michelle Ball was saying when they did this is that what it did is you have to have an accountability buddy. We do know that, and it can't be your friend. So you do have to find an accountability buddy. And then you have to account for your 5 conversations every day, and actually screenshot and take pictures of it. So there is that. But what's great is people are learning so much in these conversations, because you can post them as examples in the group. So people are getting a lot of benefit of watching how the conversations are going. And I think that's probably some of the best training that we're going to get, is teaching people how we're all having different conversations, and using that page as like, hey, I just put this in a conversation and I feel stuck and I don't know what to say. We're going to have that group of people being able to love and support you and give you ideas and comments of how to keep on moving forward in that conversation. So we are pretty excited about that. Melissa, do you want to just reach out to Stephen through a text and just make sure he's
I did, actually. I haven't heard back from him yet.
Yeah, I do know he said he's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah, and just to give you guys an idea or example of some of the results, I mean, they ranged drastically, of course, but a lot of the feedback that Michelle got from her team, from some people that didn't even get a new distributor or a new order, they were just so pleased with themselves for becoming braver and doing that. And as a result of it, they had started all of these conversations, and there were a lot of people that said, you know what, let's get in touch again in January. So they have so much momentum ready to go right for January. And on the other opposite end of the spectrum, a lot of people who were stuck in the mud came to life and had a lot of success. And one girl in particular brought on 7 new frontline in those 30 days. So it's just crazy. And as I think Nicole alluded to, it's not about reaching out to have a conversation with Juice Plus. It's just to start a conversation with those people. It's like the Team Z concept, right? Just reaching out and starting conversations. And we'll do some training on that. We've got some ideas of how to start conversations for you guys. And we'll do that on another call, and we'll go through that. So it just feels so authentic that you don't feel like you're, you don't have that icky feeling where you're reaching out to people. It's truly reaching out and making somebody's day.
Awesome.
Stephen is on the call.
Yes, Stephen Millman. Yay, Stephen.
Hey.
So welcome to Team B. We've got 40 of us on, 42 on, and everyone is so excited to love on you, welcome you, and get you to share the excitement and all the news from Quebec City. So I'll take it away, and I think you can use the share screen as well, and we are recording it, so it will be passed along as well.
Okay, perfect. Excellent. Well, thank you. Can you hear me okay, Nicole?
Yeah, you bet.
All right, good. Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. It's that time of night when we're getting kids down, and got that all done, and then had to reboot the computer. So whatever was going to happen happened, and here I am. So thank you for your patience, and thanks for inviting me on the call. I'm glad it worked out that we were able to do this so quickly, coming off our QNMD and NMD summit in beautiful Quebec City. It was certainly a summit to remember. Firstly, the location was just outstanding. We were incredibly excited to have everybody come out to Quebec City. If you've ever been there, you know what I'm talking about. It's just one of the most historic cities. I know we've got a few of them across our country, but that one's pretty special. And here we were in the Chateau Frontenac, 125-year-old hotel, built like a castle on the side of the St. Lawrence River with a 410-year old city. So it was just pretty special, and they certainly know how to do it up right out there for the Christmas season and the holiday season. So it was really cool. And we had close to 50 of us together for this summit. And we were blown away by what actually transpired over the couple of days there. So I'm just going to dive right into it. We launched our 2019 campaign while we were there. And a little history on what we do with our NMD summits. We invite all of our national marketing directors into a cool location, usually around this time of year. And the purpose of those have been for all of us to come together to review the year that we've just, we're winding down, the calendar year that's usually wrapping up, and talk about the goods about it, what could we improve on. We get some incredibly valuable feedback from our NMDs on how we could improve and new ideas. And so corporately, we gain so much by locking arms that way. And then we then start talking about, okay, what are we going to do next year? And what kind of excitement are we going to create? And what's that going to look like? So that's what we did. And normally we come out of that and use the space between now and the end of this month to launch all the ideas and get all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. But we decided we couldn't wait. We didn't want anyone waiting until January to get all this new information. We were all too pumped and excited about all the stuff that came out of it. And so we decided we were going to do a bunch of these Zoom calls with the different organizations across the country as soon as possible. And Nicole jumped right up and booked us the next night right after. So here we are. The theme that we launched at this summit was strong and free. And really this next year, 2019, really starting now, but the year of 2019 is going to be the year of the virtual franchise. We're really envisioning helping as many people as possible. One, of course, start the Juice Plus health habit, but two, achieve the position of virtual franchise quickly. And so a lot of the incentives, initiatives, and plans that we built were around the idea of building as many virtual franchisees as possible, getting people to that VS 14% level. So obviously for new people coming into the business, it's helping them get there and then duplicate. And for the people who are in the business, regardless of what level you are, VF or higher, it's about helping you duplicate your efforts and attract as many new frontline VFs as possible into the mission. And so every initiative we built was with that in mind. And of course, all of it coming together with our biggest surprise of the whole weekend, which was for the first time ever doing a Juice Plus conference, Canadian conference, first of its kind in beautiful Calgary, Alberta in October. So we were so stoked. We've been planning this. Nicole was actually part of the masterminding group that we did back about 2 months ago to come up with the strategy. So we've been trying to hold it secret for for about 45 days leading into this, and that was hell. So we were so excited to be able to launch it. But I just wanted to take some time and go through, if I could, some of the team building bonuses. And I'm going to pull up and hopefully I can share my screen. If not, I've made some just handwritten notes here. But I'll take a second to see if I can share the PowerPoint with you guys. But essentially what we've come up with some ideas and concepts and new changes that we are going to launch out to everybody effective immediately, really. And I'm going to see if I can get this to share here with you guys. Share this one. Share. Can you see that?
Yep, we're good.
Yes.
Steve. You can see it.
Excellent. Perfect. Okay, so I'll just kind of quickly go through these as we talked about the 2019 theme, strong and free. And really, I wanted to hit a point on that as well. What that really means to us, it's a play, of course, or a takeaway from our national anthem. This is really a year of national unity. All of us coming together from coast to coast, locking arms as we build into the first ever Juice Plus Canada Conference in Calgary. So we use those words specifically. This probably is going to end up being the theme for our conference in the fall. And then it really speaks so well to what we are creating and really what you guys are creating with the Juice Plus virtual franchise and with Juice Plus in Tower Garden. And that's strong businesses, strong households, strong, healthy families, and the freedom to choose to do whatever you want to do. You know, that's the beautiful thing of this business. And so really that part of our national anthem has such unity and at the same time speaks so well to our business and our mission for 2019. The goals that we had at the summit was to launch this plan, and then we did some masterminding with our team. We discussed what was happening in 2012 to 2016, what's gone on over this last little while, and what do we want to do next. And really what we were reviewing there is we have such a strong and stable business, but from 2012 to 2016, our business tripled. And so we really wanted to go back and revisit what were the things that we were doing then and what could we be doing now to really help that. And it led us into 3 green light areas. How do we drive VFs? What do we do to keep all of you guys in leadership excited? And what do we have to do to support all those areas around team building bonus changes, events, training, starter kits, etc. And these are the key areas that we talked about. And these are really the updates I wanted to share with you guys. We made some team building bonus changes, and we built a super builder, which I'll discuss in a second. We've got a refreshment to our starter kit, which was woohoo! Everyone was pretty excited about that. And we came up with some marketing support ideas and a new event strategy, which really was built around our Juice Plus Live conference. All right. And let me get this here for a second. So our team building bonus changes, really what we did, we wanted to make them a little more simpler. So last year we added a bunch of different elements to our team building bonus. And in doing so, we created a lot of confusion because it wasn't really lining up with the compensation plan that everybody was building and setting their goals towards. So we simplified it a little bit. And this is the team building bonus changes that are happening effective immediately that we wanted to share with you. And really what that looks like is our VSQ bonus. We actually upped that. So for virtual franchisees who are qualifying, we upped it to 300. We removed our 1 club bonus, removed our POB bonus, and removed the 6 club bonus. And we took that money and we moved it back so that we could have our sales coordinator fast track bonus back to $1,000. We were excited about getting that back up to 1,000. We really feel like that really helps in terms of getting people started in the business and having a significant impact for families' incomes. And then, of course, the rest, you can see on the left, stayed the same. The 3 club, we had messed with that a little bit in 2018 around it being 3 lines, not an actual 3 club. And for those of you on the phone that maybe aren't real sure what that is or are building towards that, the 3 lines would be having a qualifier, 3 of them frontline to you, when an actual 3 club could be, I've got 2 frontline qualifiers and another one underneath here. And so we got it back to the way it's actually designed in our marketing plan and put that bonus at 500. So we were excited about that, particularly really excited about getting our sales coordinator bonus back to 1,000. And then the super builder, which we are pumped about, that starts right now in December business. We haven't built the incentive around it yet. We're going to be launching details around this in January, February. But a super builder is going to be somebody who signs up 5 new frontline fast track VS between December 1st, so this month that we're in right now, and September 30th, 2019. So over the course of that 10 months, any representative who signs up 5 new frontline VS. And I can tell you this, we recognize that is hard work. We recognize that takes effort. So the incentive package that we're going to build around that's going to be pretty significant. We've been talking a lot about it over the last couple of days. And the package we're going to build is going to be very worthwhile. And it's certainly going to probably point us towards some major recognition in Sacramento, as well as some major recognition at our Canadian conference in Calgary in the fall. Some other cool things we're going to be doing. We're going to switch the newsletter, if you've been getting it, to solely a recognition newsletter. And we're going to be recognizing people for doing 5 or more customers a month. I'm going to be recognizing people who are excelling in what was formerly called the Children's Health Study, which we now call Healthy Start customers. So we're stoked about where we're headed with team building bonus and recognition, and that super builder. The big thing I'm excited about is I'm wondering who's going to be our first super builders. I'm wondering who's going to be able to do it in Sacramento, because if we get some super builders who we can recognize at our Canadian reception in Sacramento, we are going to light it up with those guys when we get there, which will be a lot of fun. The starter kit, which we mentioned, we had simplified the starter kit, probably made it a little too simple. We weren't real proud of it. We got a lot of great constructive feedback from everybody on what we could do to make it better. So in January, you'll start to see these new kits go out. We're going to go back to the pizza box style, and we're branding it beautifully with like that. I don't know if you guys have seen these on social media with a fit fad feel. So it's going to be a real clean looking, nice box that people get in the mail that's branded nice and looks really colorful and bright. And again, with that fit fad feel. Inside, we're going to have comp plan pieces explaining team building bonus to comp plan and incentives. We're going to have a great 30 and 30 grid, which is essentially a really new, interesting way to do a memory jogger, getting people started in the business and connecting with people. Healthy living brochures, healthy living for real life brochures, complete brochures, tower garden brochures. We're going to print a shred guide and get that in there. This team has been adamant about making sure that that's in there, and thank you for that. So we'll make sure that that is in there. A list with products and prices, potential earnings, where to find order forms, price lists, and of course our USB that'll access a portal where you can go and grab all this information digitally as well. So we're excited about that. I think everyone's going to be really proud of it when those kits are being sent out. The next is our new kit that we're going to do, and this is a brand new idea. And again, around the year of the virtual franchise and helping people get to that 14%, we're going to do a promo box that are sent to people who make it to the virtual franchise level. So that first big milestone on the team building bonus as well as in the comp plan of reaching 14%. Again, same box, pizza box style that looks really nice and branded nicely. We're going to add some more brochures in there. We're going to put a shaker bottle in there for everybody. We're going to do a capsule tower. We're going to put a Juice Plus baseball hat. Next steps, the sales coordinator, Canadian conference information, and they're actually going to get a free ticket in to our Canadian conference in Calgary. So we're stoked about this, and it's really, this will be the sticker that's on the box so that it'll distinguish the difference between a starter kit and a virtual franchise kit. So that'll be proudly stamped on the top of that box when they open it. And really, it's around this whole idea that we had heard from the Australians around building a virtual franchise factory. How do we get these people excited, and how do we get lots of VS coming and joining the mission and going out and gifting people with Juice Plus and Tower Garden? And then we came up with how this kind of just rolls off the tongue, and it feels kind of nice to say, become a VS, get a box. Teach to others to get a box, and you can earn over $2,000 in team building bonus. And that just flows really nice, and it's a great theme and a wash, rinse, repeat kind of attitude and DMO heading into 2019. We've come up with some interesting marketing ideas and refreshing our healthy minds, healthy bodies. That's the small brochure that goes in our shipping. Nicole gets credit for taking charge with this. We're going to be doing monthly Zoom events open to everybody from coast to coast at about 20 minutes in length. I think the first one's coming up January 9th. And is it 9th, Nicole?
It's actually the 4th, I believe.
Okay. But we're going to get this flyer and information out to everybody. We've built these Zooms so that everybody can plug into. It's an online event for everybody across the country to plug into, themed each month, showing Canadian leadership, Canadian speakers, with different topics each month, you know, centered around product education. Perhaps it's around fitness, men in business, key health things, key business things. That people are going to be interested to invite their team and most importantly, inviting prospects on. We've come to realize these online events work really well. People can tune in from their home or from the kitchen every night for 20 minutes. That's not a big commitment versus getting home from work, getting in the car and heading out, which isn't always easy for everybody. So another exposure that people can use. There is a list. Nicole and a few of the leaders have gotten together and built out the calendar. And we're going to be getting that information out to everybody between now and middle of next week so that everyone can get those in their calendar. and get those dates locked and loaded. We're going to come up with a Share Your Story initiative, which you'll hear more details in the new year, but we're wanting people to share their story with us. So take a selfie video, send it into our office, and we're going to build an incentive around that. So when you send it into our office, if we take your story and share it or ask your permission to use it, build some incentives around that. We're also going to be capturing all of our NMD stories in 2019 so everybody can hear them and have a place to share them. And all of these pieces will be mobile ready and in a place where everybody can grab and go with them. So our 2019 event strategy was really how do we build all of this and launch it into our Canadian conference in the fall. And we are super stoked about that. Those dates are going to be October 3rd to 5th in Calgary. If you haven't seen the video, I would encourage you guys to go, if we're not friends on Facebook, you can still go see it there. If we're not friends on Facebook, go click and add so that we can connect on Facebook. If we are, or anyway, it's on my profile. You can go on my profile, watch the little 40-second promo video that we put together for this. We are so stoked. We're going to be doing this April 3rd to 5th in Calgary. Following somewhat to this plan with an NMD meeting and a prospecting event, so probably having a Prevention Plus speaker on the Thursday evening. The Friday will kick off 12 to 4. We're going to have a Legacy Awards dinner with details to be announced soon in terms of what is that, how do I qualify to get in. We'll announce all of that coming up in Sacramento. So we're encouraging people to get to Sacramento. You'll hear a lot more about our Canadian reception, or at our Canadian reception about our Canadian conference. The Legacy Awards, we are pumped about this. This is the awards recognizing people, creating a social impact in their community and building a legacy of health and happiness for future generations. So that's what we're going to celebrate on the Friday night. We're going to come up with how you get in and what type of awards. We did a wonderful brainstorm with our leadership around it, and we're incredibly excited to launch the first of its kind like this in Canada for Canadians. So that'll be an incredible, exciting night. And again, more details to be revealed in Sacramento. And we are, I'll skip through all that because we've already said it. Let's Zoom. That's when we launch this to everybody. But essentially, we've kicked it off with these two hashtags, as I mentioned. And we want everyone to really put a focus on Sacramento right now. In fact, in Sacramento, we will be revealing, like I said, a lot of these different concepts for the Juice Plus conference in Calgary. We'll be talking about the Legacy Awards. We're going to be doing a lot of recognition around Super Builder in Sacramento. The biggest question everybody has had is, when is registration going to be open for our conference? And we've decided that registration will open on April 15th. That is the Monday after Sacramento. That's when people will be able to purchase tickets for our Juice Plus live event in Calgary. What we also have decided to do for those Canadians who come to our convention in Sacramento and are at our Canadian reception, they're going to be able to actually purchase their tickets earlier and at a discounted price. So it's going to be $100 Canadian for our Canada conference. But for those coming into Sacramento, they'll be able to purchase them first, so no fear of selling out for those people. And they'll be able to purchase them at $75 Canadian. So if you come to Sacramento, you get first tickets and you get them at a discounted rate. So we're excited to do that. We're excited to launch it and share more. We're holding back a lot of what we're going to be doing until we get to Sacramento. So we're encouraging everybody to lock that into their calendar, make Sacramento huge. I really see this as an incredible stepping stone for 2019. We're coming out, we're in the holiday season now, launching this, a lot of cool things to get excited about and share with people. And then January will hit, of course, which, as we know, is massive for our business with New Year's resolutions and people taking charge of their health and financial situation. And our business creates such great solutions for that. And then we have such new great tools for people to grab a hold of, and new initiatives, and that team building bonus for people to rock right into Sacramento, do some major recognition in Sacramento with everybody, and then set some goals and targets between then and when we head to Calgary. And that's kind of the focus we're taking. And another reason we wanted to launch these Zooms now was just the importance of this time of year. You know, we're heading in, holiday season is just around the corner. And typically that's a time when most people kick back a little bit. But at the same time, it is a really great time for this business just to make connections. You know, usually in this time of year, you are meeting people for reconnecting with people, meeting new people, heading out to holiday parties, families, that type of thing. And it might not necessarily be where you're doing events and talking Juice Plus all the time, but you're connecting with people and finding out where people are. What kind of year did they have? What are they looking forward to in 2019? And in that, you know, really just taking note of who can I be dripping on, making connections with, making some genuine connections with, who may be looking for solutions in 2019 or looking for a better year in 2019 than they had in 2018. And so I think knowing what you know in terms of our campaign of Strong and Free, and then being out in these next couple of weeks and connecting with friends and family, it's just a great way to kind of start planting those seeds, as well as making note in terms of who can I maybe connect with and invite onto some of these Zooms or invite out to some live events starting in January. Because here's what happens if we don't do that stuff now. And a lot of people end up taking the rest of the month off. And then kids go back to school. I think my kids are back to school January 7th. And so then kids are back to school January 7th. Then it's that week before you can get into gear. All of a sudden, all of January is just about done. You're halfway through January before you're sitting and thinking about who am I connecting with? What do I need to do? How am I jumpstarting my business? Versus if you do that planning now, January kicks off and you are rocking and rolling and inviting right into events, and you'll see a significant difference in your business by planting the seeds now and then hitting them hard in January versus waiting for January to plant those seeds. So I think it's a good time in terms of knowing all of this information to be able to kick off your new year. And plus, I don't know if you guys are like me, but I like this time of year in terms of sitting and reviewing the year and goal setting and setting targets and just thinking about, you know, what I want to do. And really those thoughts have started to happen now. You know, I'm writing down some ideas for some goals and targets and dreaming a little bit about what 2019 is going to look like. So I think everybody probably starts thinking that way now as this calendar year starts to wind down, and it is a good time to review for business. So wanted to share all that with you. I think that's all I had, Nicole. Let me just quickly go through here. Yeah, the rest was our masterminding. So let me kick out of this here. Otherwise, stop share. There we go. Yeah, so that was really what I wanted to share. There's a lot of exciting information. I do want to tell you this. We are going to have a lot of this stuff available in print. So new team building bonus flyers, a super builder flyer, conference information, that conference video, conference flyer, starter kit information, all of the details of this in a shareable format available to you before the end of next week. So our goal is to have as much of that ready before December 21st, so that you have it at your fingertips when you're planning out the end of this month and into the new year. So that is our goal and target right now. So we're working feverishly after coming out of the summit to capture all that and get it all loaded up and shared out on social media and loaded up on the virtual office. I don't think I took a breath that whole time. I'm stoked.
Yeah, that's awesome, Stephen. Yeah, we're just so excited, and thank you so much for taking the time. Maybe what we can do is we can definitely open it up if there's any more questions. But what I wanted to do is clarify with everybody about the Zoom calendar. I'm actually just in the middle of posting it on Juice Plus Canada events so that the all of Canada can see it. So the first one will be, if you want to mark your calendar, it is January 3rd. It will be a mini online prevention plus with Alyssa Harriman talking on detoxification. And what we try to put in the calendar for the 12 months, and we did a survey on Juice Plus Canada, is that most people wanted a prevention plus, but there was also a good chunk of people that wanted business. So we're rotating it. That 1 month will be like a mini prevention plus, no more than 30 minutes, where you can invite your prospects. And then the next month will be a healthy living revolution event. And a lot of you are familiar with that because we've been doing them for the last year, which will be about 3 product stories and a couple business stories, and it will be stories from the heart, and it will introduce people to the product and the business. And what we're doing is we're using Canadian leaders right across the country to launch this event. So we're really excited about it. And the flyer for Alyssa will be coming very shortly. It's just in the making, and you'll get more details about like where to go to invite and get, launch the call. So stay tuned to that. But does anybody have any questions for Stephen?
There was a question in the chat here, Nicole, from Camilla around where will you be able to purchase tickets in April? It's most likely going to be a Boombox link set up. So we'll be sure to have that set up for everybody. We're actually using the same conference registration system that they use in the United States. We're just borrowing their infrastructure for that. So it'll work the same way. So April 15th, I imagine there's a website you go. The links will be all over your virtual office. We'll have, be able to share them out in different ways. You'll be able to click and just purchase your ticket. I am so excited too. I think everyone's excited. This event in Calgary is going. It is historic. It is the first time we've done something like this, and this is a game changer. We've been watching, and people have been talking about this event. And sorry if people need to get off the call or I'm going on too long. Just tell me. I can't stop talking about it. People have been asking for a Canadian conference for a couple of years now. And it was one of those things where, you sit and go, that would be cool, but, and in doing so, we were masterminding Nicole, Alyssa, and Sandy Veilleux and Michelle Ball and myself. And in that, quickly realizing, wow, that's a limiting belief. Wow, we've been all kind of operating in this place of, oh, maybe we're not big enough for that. Or maybe, we're not ready for that. And then the minute we all decided, we are ready for this, and we launched it this weekend, there is a shift in terms of where this business is going to go in 2019 for Canada. And we can already feel it. And I imagine this is probably going to be a year that'll never be forgotten. Certainly that was a summit in Quebec that'll never be forgotten. And 2019 will be one of those years we reflect on for years and years to come in terms of a game-changing year. And I just can't imagine the amount of families we are going to impact in the process. The amount of families who are going to take charge of their health and their financial future, because all of us are locking arms to make 2019 the best year ever. And then we're going to rock into Calgary with, 1,500 people plus, and just change this country completely. It's going to be incredible. We did get another question. With the VF box, including shakers, we'll be able to order those and other merchandise and sample packs here in Canada. We are working on a solution with promotions, Juice Plus promotions in the US. We're trying to figure out how that works. We're not going to warehouse them here, but Jay Martin Jr., who runs Juice Plus Promotions, he's coming up with a solution where you're going to be able to order promotional products from them and have it shipped here to Canada, ideally with zero freight and zero duty. So we're still working on that plan. So that's the kind of the temporary plan right now. He's also going to be coming up and having a promotions booth at our Canada conference. So from the promo side, that's kind of what we're working on as a bit of a Band-Aid solution to all of that. And then the sample packs, unfortunately, we just can't have them in Canada. They are not approved for resale. It's a labeling issue. And so we can't bring them across and sell them, because if we do, we run the risk of losing our product licenses to sell other products. So for now, we're forced to tell you to do whatever you've been doing, which I need to go la 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 to get those sample packs in Canada. Hope that helps, Julia.
Okay, well, we're 9:15. We've been on the call for 45 minutes. Thank you for staying on for an extra 15 minutes, team, for this very important message. And we will reschedule Michelle for the new year. She totally understood why we needed to do this. So we are the first team that has this message and this information. So Hopefully some of you will be able to get to sleep tonight because you'll be so excited. But again, thank you, Stephen. And I don't know if I introduced who Stephen was. I think I told most of you guys, but he's our VP of Sales for Canada. He's been with us for now over 20 years, and he's from Newfoundland. So he's a great guy, and he's really helping lead Canada with a beautiful heart. And what I love about Stephen, he's a fluorescent yellow, and reds, we scare the crap out of him at times. So if you don't hear back from him right away, he's just processing in his yellow way. That's the way he operates. Just very heartfelt, very spiritual. So might not know that about Stephen, but you can pull a fairy card on him and you won't have to explain what that means. He gets it. So very connected, and I love that Stephen does a lot of personal growth, and we really have a great conversation on that level with him. So we're just very blessed to have such an open and guided leader that continues to be the best version of himself. And I've worked in corporate and with my ex-husband in corporate for many years. You don't find too many leaders like that in a corporate setting. So we're just very grateful that we have you leading the helm and putting us, in the right direction from the heart. So thank you, Stephen.
Thank you, Nicole. It's very kind. Thank you.
Okay, everyone.
Amazing.
Good night. We'll get
Thank you, everybody.
So Stephen can go meditate.
Try to calm the brain down a bit here.
Awesome. Thanks, team.
Okay.
Love you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.